Hello and welcome to my anime channel. Make sure to subscribe for more daily anime content. With the release of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I thought we would cover the various gym leaders, their Pokemon and what I hope they will be getting in the remakes. Roark is of course the first gym leader you face when you visit Oreburgh Gym. He specialises in using your traditional stereotypical Geodude and Onix combination, very similar in that respect to Brock from the original series of Kanto. But in this case he adds the base form of the fossil Pokemon called Cranidos, which is one of two base forms. You've got that and you've got Shieldon. So we'll have a look at Geodude. His Geodude within Pokemon Platinum is at level 12 and has the ability Rock Head. It basically means it cannot take any recoil damage from its own attacks. These would include attack moves such as Head Smash and Double Edge. But the trouble is, it doesn't know either of these moves. Instead, it has Rock Throw, a move introduced in the first series, with a base power of 50 and 90% accuracy. Its other move is Stealth Rock, a new Rock-type move introduced within Generation 4, the Sinnoh region, which is a status move, and causes damage based on the type effectiveness that Rock has on the opponent's monster. The best case scenario, if you're facing something like a Charizard, which has a 4 times weakness, takes out half of its health. In its worst case, where it has a 4 times resistance, it does only 3.125% damage, barely anything. The trouble with this move is, without any consistent means of switching out your opponent's Pokemon, this move becomes very dead very quickly. What would I like to see from the Geodude in the Sinnoh remake? This might seem a bit overkill for a first time gym leader, but I would love to see the Geodude having 4 types of moves. I don't see this as unreasonable, considering that with each generation the number of moves made available more quickly as Pokemon level up, so by the time you face a gym leader, a Pokemon could end up with 4 moves. I think Rock Throw would be okay to keep because it is a signature move of Geodude, and to keep it for nostalgia's sake, but it could be traded out for something like Rock Tomb to reduce the opponent's speed stat, one of the difficulties that many rock types face. Rollout I think is a must. I'd love it to have this attack as it also works alongside Geodude and would counter flying Pokemon very quickly. Smackdown would be handy just to provide some response to flying type Pokemon if you wanted a finishing move such as Earthquake as a final move. Alternatively, with Geodude having such low speed, Rock Polish to make it much faster, paired with Earthquake for non-flying Pokemon would be useful. As for the ability Sturdy, I think this is a must over Rock Head. I remember its effect changed where in the past it would only stop the Pokemon from being fainted by a one-hit KO move, such as Sheer Cold, but now it also prevents the Pokemon from dropping from full health to fainting in that one turn. As for his Onix, Roark's Onix was also at level 12 and it had the ability Rock Head. In the anime, Roark's Onix was treated very differently to Brock's Onix, in the aspect of focusing the Onix to become more powerful with status-based moves, not only physical moves. For example, introducing Rock Polish when it was used against Ash, and to counter Ash's Pikachu's speed. It also introduced Screech to drastically reduce Pikachu's physical defense. It also possessed Stealth Rocks, which I hope it will not have in the remake, and its signature Rock Throw as well. As for what I'd like to see from Onix in the Sinnoh remake, like Geodude, I think Onix should have 4 moves to make it more diverse. I know in Pokemon Sword and Shield that Geodude did not feature, whereas Onix did. So based on the level movesets featured, Rock Polish would be good to keep it true to how Roark intended it to be. It should apply with Screech as well to significantly affect defenses, but I think Sand Tomb would be beneficial to be like a better version of Wrap, and Rock Tomb again to lower the opponent's Pokemon's base speed. And of course, we're not forgetting his final Pokemon, which was Cranidos. The final Pokemon in Roark's arsenal, his Cranidos, obviously found when he was excavating a digging site, and one of the fossil Pokemon important to the Sinnoh region. Unlike Geodude and Onix, it possessed the Mold Breaker ability, which prevents effects when it attacks, necessary for making it a beast in its offense. It was leveled at 14 with the moves Leer, a move that lowers an opponent's defense by 1, Pursuit, a dark type move which doubles if a Pokemon dares switch out, and finally Headbutt, a move classified as its signature with the chance of making your opponent's Pokemon flinch. As for what I'd like to see in the remake, Cranidos should also have 4 moves, which I hope would include Headbutt, It has to be, since that is what it's known for, but in the anime it also possessed Zen Headbutt, which I think should also be included. The final two moves are a bit of a toss-up. I'd like to see it have some of its egg moves, such as Iron Head. This might be a bit overkill, but we need to keep things challenging. And you know what, since they want to take advantage of Stealth Rocks, why not add Whirlwind to its final move to gain the benefit and to surprise the opponent? In the aftergame, with Pokemon Platinum, you had the opportunity to face the gym leaders once again, but with a fully powered up team. You could do this once you defeated the Elite Four. The first Pokemon he had was another fossil type from the first generation, Aerodactyl. A combined rock and flying type with the ability Rock Head at level 62. The attack moves was Stone Edge, one of the most powerful rock type moves of the generation in the game, especially when you consider physical moves with no downside outside of a lower accuracy, increasing the chance of missing. Earthquake, a classic move which affects all Pokemon on the ground outside of the user. Aerial Ace, an attack to deal with those pesky grass type Pokemon which are the main threat. And Dragon Claw, a coverage move to deal with any unusual threats. As for what I'd like to see with the remake for Aerodactyl, I'm going to throw this out there and you can absolutely leave your opinions on this down below in the comments section. I'd love to see all three of the element Fang moves. That will be Ice Fang, Fire Fang and Thunder Fang, which can deal with a number of threats and manage against the main weaknesses of grass and water, with the opportunity to freeze, paralyze or burn, as well as the combined ability to make your opponent's Pokemon flinch. As a final coverage move, Giga Impact, a powerful final strike technique to finish the opponent, is something Roark wasn't particularly known for, but he did love his offensive Pokemon, so you know what, to some extent it fits his nature. Probopass, a combination rock and steel type with the sturdy ability to prevent it from being fainted in one turn, is the next Pokemon. It is a level 61 with the moves Stone Edge. I expect this will be kept because of the chance to critically hit, and being a strong move. Earth Power has the chance to damage the Pokemon's special defense, so also consider this to be kept. Discharge will likely be kept as a signature move that it can rely upon, but as for Stealth Rock, I don't want that kept. I think Magnet Bomb or another steel type move to take advantage of its same attack type bonus is better. Potentially Steel Beam as well, the brand new move introduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield, would also be a great addition. Next Pokemon is Golem. It has the Rock Head ability. It has Stone Edge, a classic move with a lack of accuracy. It's only 80% accurate. Brick Break, a great move which has a means of dealing with both Reflect and Light Screen, as well as managing against opponents' rock types. And Flamethrower, this is the strange move. It has but only a base special attack stat of 55. Keeping the other moves, yes, I am absolutely for, but if you want a fire move, may I suggest Fire Punch? This could at least deal with the problem that is ice types. Rampardos is a level 63 pure rock type, and it is the only pure rock type Pokemon on this team. It keeps the move Mold Breaker as its ability, which is fine. As for the attack moves, Head Smash, keep that as it is the signature move based on this Pokemon. Zen Headbutt should also be kept as it also works alongside it. Earthquake, I don't know whether it might be better to throw a more strategic move on it, perhaps Dragon Tail to switch out your opponent's Pokemon, and finally Iron Head to counter fairy types, and since it is a head move, would work with the nature that is Rampardos. I expect if we see a Mega Evolution, then this will definitely be that Pokemon, and in terms of its stat boosts, it will likely be affected in both its attack and defense, and potentially its speed, since that was a big thing to do with Cranidos in the original gym battle. Hopefully it could get a new move as well, for example a move which becomes super effective against water types, a bit like what Freeze Dry is for ice types. And of course the final Pokemon that he had was his Tyranitar. This is a combination rock and dark dual type. That is a level 65 and the only Pokemon he had on his team which had a berry. This was Citrus Berry. Its ability is Sandstream, and this should be kept as it brings up the Sandstorm and provides some special defense protection for all of his rock type Pokemon. Stone Edge and Crunch are kept and would be great to be used as same type attack bonus, as well as covering different opponents. Fire Fang is also useful to counter grass types. I would like something which shows off its strength, like Body Slam, which can cause paralysis, or Outrage as an aggressive potential move. Now for the potential additional Pokemon which we could add to his team. If we are to assume that Golem, Onyx and Rampardos are going to be on the team, then that leaves 3 spaces to fill from the generations beyond 4. I think these three will be kept, as Roark would definitely not evolve his Onyx into a Steelix. It goes directly against his principles as a Rock-type gym leader, and his feud against his dad Byron, who is the Steel-type gym leader. To meet the dual typing that Roark has been focusing on, from Pokemon Black and White this would be Caracosta. It makes the most sense as it's also a fossil type, it's fully evolved Pokemon with dual typing. The solid rock ability that weakens super effective moves is also quite effective for it. As for its moves and typeset, you'd be looking at Liquidation to decrease the opponent's attack moves, Smackdown to manage flying types and make them susceptible to Earthquake and Magnitude, Iron Defense to protect Caracosta and giving it some staying power, and lastly Shell Smash to make it hit much harder. Barbaracle is also another option. As another dual type, I know you could confuse this as potentially an option for Crash Awake, because in the anime he had a specific counter for the type his Pokemon were weak to, which was Ash's Pikachu, and the counter he had was Quagsire, but it is capable of learning a variety of moves to counter other strategies. I think in terms of moves you could go for X-Scissor as a way to counter Psychic types, which have high special attack, something that many rock types don't have very good special defense, and they're unable to protect themselves. Poison Jab, a means of inflicting a status condition that will eat away at the opponent's Pokemon's hit points. Low Kick, a physical move that can deal with heavier, tankier Pokemon. And finally Liquidation to reduce a Pokemon's physical attack and for that same type attack bonus. And finally, and I think this Pokemon has to be included in the roster, is absolutely colossal. It seems like the biggest no-brainer. What types of equipment do you use when you are excavating? Typically mining carts, and it would bring some variety with a dual fire and rock type, not to mention adding some brand new moves such as Heat Crash. It's a must to be able to deal with the opponent's grass types. Will-O-Wisp is a good suggestion to add a status condition and improve the difficulty of this leader. To Reflect would help to improve the Pokemon's defenses, and finally Attract as a way of throwing off your opponent. For me, Roark is one of the most memorable gym leaders within the Sinnoh region, whilst we didn't see much from his other... For me, Roark is one of the most memorable gym leaders within the Sinnoh region, whilst we didn't see much from him other than his altercation with his father, and when he first showed up as the first gym leader within the first few episodes. I'd like to know from you guys, what types of Pokemon do you want Roark to have in his first match and post-game? Do you like my suggestions? If not, put your list down below of what you recommend, and do you believe we will see any Mega Evolutions within his team?